Familia, Saturday, March 27th. Hope everybody's having a good evening. Just doing my little own due diligence. Just wanted to bring out the message. I know everybody's doing really good work. I want to send out a thank you to Matt Kors, MATTKOHRES. He's got his YouTube channel. Trey Trades. Everybody knows Trey. What's up, Trey? Andrew Mo Money, Galactic Finance. And so I got a little bit of notes tonight. I got some allergy things going on, so if you hear me talking a little weird, don't trip out on it. All right, here we are. So what came to mind was double brokering. So, and what's going on with this whole Blackpool. And my definition of what a Blackpool is like a private exchange that's scalping retail investors. That's basically what it is. I mean, we talk about day traders that are scalping, but how can you be a day trader when Blackpool private exchanges are scalping the retail investor without it even going into the public market, without it even hitting the NASDAQ or the New York Stock Exchange? So, for example, you got, here in this case, we got Robinhood. And Robinhood is doing business with, apparently, a Blackpool private exchange. We already know that. My personal hypothesis is this. I think whoever that Blackpool private exchange may be, in this case, let's just say it's Citadel. I think Citadel is basically bigger than they appear, and that they have LLCs working under their name that will take the hit for anything that Citadel does. Now, if Citadel provides software structure to the financial community and they're just too big, and I mean, I was watching Andrew Mo Money today, and the doctor said that they're just too big to fail. They're a finance services sector. So, does the public even have interest here? Whose interest has more volume? And double brokering, it comes to mind, and I'm just trying to explain it here to just a regular person that may just be learning, because I'm learning, and this is like a everyday just school for me. It's like an example. Okay, I'm gonna use this example. Let's say there is someone wants to buy a house, and you put your money, you wire your money into like an escrow agent, and you wire him in good faith your money because you trust them, because you're gonna buy a house. But you hire a real estate agent, you go look for your house, you get a nice house, but at the moment you want to buy the house, your money's just, it never reaches its final destination. In this case, we have a private exchange scalping the retail investor. Basically, a retail wholesale scalping the retailer. Double brokering. I hear a lot about double brokering in transportation. An example: the shipper has the commodity. He hires a broker. A broker hires a truck. Sometimes there are shady people out in the world where, let me give you another example. Shipper, broker, he hires somebody. That person hires somebody else. That's double brokering. Another example, construction. Somebody will get the job. He's the middleman. He gets a cut. He hires somebody for a cheaper rate to do the work, while this guy just walks away taking money, scalping the actual quote and scalping the worker, which double brokering, it's like committing to a job and scalping it, and still scalping who you're going to give the job to. It's just a breakdown just to the simple terms. So Blackpool is a private exchange which is scalping the retail investor. It's never reaching the NASDAQ. It's never reaching the New York Stock Exchange. And although Citadel is making $4.1 billion in a year, and they do pay fines. They can pay fines. I think last week they paid $275,000 in a fine. What is it? That's just the cost of doing business. Everybody knows that. So just for intentionally sending trading data errors. So disruptive technology, and I think the real disruptive technology are the scalpers that are stopping the regular person's money from even reaching the open exchange. So outstanding shares, which is the total amount of stocks that basically are out there in the float, and the free float, which is what the public can purchase. Whoever's learning this, remember these terms. Outstanding shares are the amount of shares for the total stock, and the free float is what anyone like myself can buy if we go in with a good broker that will actually get our order into the open market, which kind of raises some questions to me. The gentleman from Robinhood told Congress that he was margin called at like 5 a.m. Shouldn't Citadel had paid that margin call and not the gentleman from Robinhood? Citadel needed to pay that, not Robinhood. So maybe that's why they're getting sued. So I already spoke about double brokering. Now, what's a good salesman? A good salesman is somebody who sells a good product. A bad salesman is someone who knows they can't sell the product and is willing to take it out of whoever is going to be using their product. I mean, we see this done every single day, everywhere. People work hard. They really don't get compensated for the right amount of money for what the job they do. I mean, instead of being, we see that in trucking. Sometimes they lower our rate. They lower the transportation rate, and we take the hit on tires, on fuel, on oil changes, because they would rather lower our rate than hike it up somewhere else. So it's basically always going to the bottom. You know, you get the short end of the stick. So I can't wait for whoever is working under the private exchange to get margin called, whoever they are. And Andrew Momoney, he did ask Dr. Pippo that question, and she basically shied away from it and said they're bigger than they appear. So I just am curious to know who is working, or what LLC is working under Citadel. And the SEC can keep finding them, and I understand that. But I really don't think they're going to go down. I wonder who's going to go down beneath them. Basically, I'm going to use this example. Let's say a real estate company, any big real estate company. They're just a real estate broker, but they have a lot of realtors that work underneath them, promoting or using that company's permits to basically buy or sell homes. We have the same thing going on here. We have individual LLCs working under Citadel's authority and whatever they're backstopping their insurance at, but they're covered. I do think a squeeze is going to happen. I don't know who's going to get squeezed, but it's curious. I'm just curious to know. It's a very conglomerate business, and the retail investor. I mean, they say the I've heard the news say that retail the retail business is going down, and that the retail people just don't have consumer confidence. I'm starting to lose retail investor confidence in everything that I see. I think I go back to my old theory on an ETF and mutual funds. I mean, they're buying millions of shares of stock. I think that's why El Presidente, the guy on Twitter, I forgot what his name is, Dave Portnoy, and ARK Invest, and a lot of people are starting their ETF because you just need that kind of volume to make money. And I really do hope that everything gets basically put into place in order. And thank you everyone for doing your videos. I'm not changing anyone's theory. I'm just putting it in regular terms for maybe somebody to understand me. It's very high paced. It's a high paced business, and everybody else is doing their DD. Everybody relates to a certain level, and I hope somebody can relate to basically what I'm saying, which is the retail investor, their trade is getting railroaded to a Blackpool market, which is a private equity, and it's basically never reaching the New York Stock Exchange or the NASDAQ. And I'm happy that AMC basically sent out this email for people to vote, because basically they shed more light on this subject, which basically confirms that whoever is buying stock through Robinhood has no voting rights, because their shares were never purchased on the open market. And if that's the case, why did they not allow people to keep buying? They raised the capital, but the person that really needed to cover that margin call was Citadel and his LLC buddies. That's what I think. So again, this is just my own personal opinion. I'm not talking bad about no one. I'm not a professional investor. I'm just a regular person, just trying to make sense of what's going on. Because as you can see, I'm working. It's really hard to work and make money. It's not easy, and I want to be successful just like everyone else, and I think everyone deserves it. So thank you for listening to my video. Everybody keep doing your really good work, and I'm still in AMC. I'm in GME. I believe in these companies. I'm bullish on them, and I'm gonna remain bullish, and I am bullish on long-term investments in really good companies that have a lot of good fundamentals. And I suggest that everyone who wants to invest in the stock market do your homework, talk to a professional, and only use money that you can afford to invest. Take care of your children, take care of your homes, take care of your wife, and whatever you have left, if you can even afford it, invest in it. Thank you. Goodbye.